Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got an unfortunate story straight out of Utah that has everything to do with family dynamics. You hear me talking about chaos and disruption throughout our cities and states, but sometimes there's quite a bit of chaos and disruption within the four walls of many of our homes in America. And this is a classic example of a family from all outward appearances that look like they were successful, happy, and positive. Multi-million-dollar home, successful parents, children doing well. They had 6 children, but unfortunately, the father, through stress, anxiety, and the father and mother not getting along, the father made the ultimate decision to kill the mother and then kill himself. And unfortunately, the ultimate unfortunate part of this story is that one of their 6 children, one of their sons, found both of his parents deceased and called 911. So let's go. This is straight out of Utah. Utah son came home to discover his dad killed his mom and himself in a murder-suicide. After a Utah husband fatally shot his wife of more than 30 years inside their multi-million-dollar home in American Fort, Utah, and then took his own life on June 20th, the couple's son, one of 6 children, had to make the chilling 911 call informing police that his parents' lives were beyond saving. The 911 call, which first aired by local ABC affiliate KTVX, began with the son describing his interpretation of the apparent murder-suicide scene to a dispatcher and ended with new clues about what was going on inside the home between Mr. Olin Johnson, 57, and Carrie Lynn Johnson, 52, in the 4 days prior. The son said, "I think my dad killed my mom and then killed himself." Hearing his voice shaking, he said, "I don't know how to put that more bluntly." This is what he told the 911 dispatcher. "Oh man," he added, taking a deep breath. In response, the dispatcher was heard asking if they were beyond help. He said, the son said, "Yeah." The audibly emotional son replied, "Yes. I cannot go back in that room," he continued. When asked if he saw any weapons at the scene, the 911 caller confirmed there is a gun. That's what the son told the 911 dispatcher, that he did see a gun. From there, the son revealed that just within the past 4 days, there had been a lot of drama at the home. So this isn't necessarily out of the blue. Though he said his father and mother had not been violent towards each other in the past, the son did recall his father going to jail for a bit a year or two earlier because of chucking stuff around the house. KSL reported that the incident the son was talking about goes back to 2021 and was eventually a dismissed criminal mischief case against the husband for throwing a computer during an argument with his wife that had been going on for months. It's unclear what the prior protracted argument was about and unclear exactly what the drama at home within the last 4 days entailed. But it was previously reported that on June 18th, 2 days before the murder-suicide, Mr. Olin Johnson posted online, here we go with Facebook and social media, trying to give an outward appearance that everything is great and we're successful, but internally, both physically, emotionally, and internally in their home, there was tons of chaos, disruption, and negativity. But he posted online that no matter how crappy a person I am, motorcycles always love me back. And oh yes, skiing also loves me too. And On that same day, there was reportedly a development in a different case brought against Mr. Olin Johnson in early May. On May 9th, Olin Johnson was charged in the 4th District Court with doing business without a license, which is a Class B misdemeanor. On June 18th, 2 days before the murder-suicide, a copy of the business license was filed as part of the case. The license wasn't effective, however, until May 30th. Charging documents stated that Johnson's business was selling modular panels on May 2nd, which was illegal. An online obituary for the Johnsons said Carrie Lynn was a voice teacher for more than 2 decades, and Olin was likewise a longtime Utah County Sheriff's Search and Rescue volunteer. So both of these parents, she was a 20-year teacher. And we know teachers are underpaid, underappreciated. It is a service-oriented job. Mr. Johnson was an entrepreneur and businessman, but he also had a commitment, a social, cultural commitment to trying to be positive by being a volunteer for the Utah County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Department. Look at the dichotomy and the hypocrisy there. So he did volunteer work to help other people, but in this situation, he could not help himself. Here again, she was a teacher. There would be no doctors, no lawyers, no judges, no professional basketball players, police chiefs, firefighters, if it wasn't for teachers. Teachers are mentors, they're mother-father figures, they're social workers, they're therapists. They play a plethora of roles, all encompassed into one person, and they still have to teach and help educate young children to navigate through this crazy world. So both of them were in the capacity of helping others, but they could not help themselves. So we seeing what's going on. The obituary mourned his death as well, despite his actions. They said, as we cope with immense sorrow, mourning the loss of Carrie Lynn, our beautiful mother, daughter, and sister, we also mourn for Olin, despite his actions. We are overwhelmed with love and support from the community and express our deepest appreciation and gratitude, the family said. They also said, if you or someone you love is in a crisis, please reach out for help. This is straight out of Utah. Which by all chasms that we see, Utah is a heavily Mormon state, semi-conservative, but negativity can creep into anyone's life, no matter where you live, how much money you make, how good looking you are, how great your children are, how great your house looks or your car. Those are all outward actions, but the most important thing in life is how you feel on the inside. And in many of my videos, I'm talking about mental health issues, the opioid crisis, homelessness, gun violence. And some of these caveats in this story check those boxes. Stress, anxiety, conflict mediation, learning how to navigate through hard, negative times are all part of life and all are part of being an adult. This family had 6 children. I'm sure that they raised to be healthy, positive adults and probably taught them how, hey, life is not easy and you have to be able to take a seat back, take a deep breath to figure out how to get through the tough times in life. That's what we all do as parents to teach our children. But sometimes we fail by the outward appearances and the things that we are teaching our children. We don't practice ourselves. And this is a clear example of that. They have been married over 30 years. They're in their early to mid 50s. They've been through some of the toughest times. If they have 6 grown children, that's the hardest time to be a parent and a husband and a wife. The husband had his own successful business. They lived in a multi-million-dollar home, 2 good-looking parents. But guess what? Life is not a 100-yard dash. It is a marathon. And it is not about the destination. It is about the journey. And where you start is not your completion, but it's how you end. So you have a family here that went through 30 years of trying to be very successful, and then it ends in the most horrific situation you could think of, when your mother and father end up dead, and at the hands of your father killing the wife, the mother, and then himself. So for those 30 years of all that volunteer work, of her being a great teacher, the end period of their lives is going to be this murder-suicide, where the husband took his wife's life and did his own. Life is not that serious. Many times it's about financial issues. And it sounds like he had another business where he was selling modular panels, but he didn't have the appropriate licenses, and he was doing it anyway. Our middle class today is under a heavy financial burden due to inflation, the pandemic. We have a huge migrant issue, and then we have this national election going on. So there's a lot of propaganda. There is a lot of things that are going on. And the heaviest burden that's being placed on our citizens today is our middle class and the individuals slightly beneath the middle class. But stress, anxiety, and financial concerns can happen to extremely wealthy people, or they can appear to look to be wealthy and successful on the outside, but we don't always know. And when you hear, there's always been studies saying that when people are posting on Facebook and Instagram about their cars, how successful their children are, vacations, many times that is a mirage. Truly successful people, first of all, success starts from within and not from an outward appearance. And most individuals who want to show off their things and live their life based on material assets, most of them are not happy. A car is not going to make you happy. A summer home is not going to make you happy. A boat is not going to make you happy. Going fishing with your children will. Teaching your son how to play basketball will. Making sure that your kids are healthy and in a good place will make you happy. Having a great communication and relationship with your spouse or loved ones will make you happy. That's what life is about. That's what manifesting your truth in the appropriate direction is about. It is not based on how many things you can accumulate. And guess what, people? You can't take any of it with you. These two individuals, this couple, were in their mid-50s. They still had at least another 30 years of life to live and to continue to be community-oriented and family-oriented. As I said, they had 6 children. And for that son to find his mother and father deceased at the hands of the father, you're talking about PTS at the highest level. That's not the way your end story should be. It is not about the destination in life. It is about the journey. And part of the journey is overcoming travails and tribulations and negativity that comes towards you or is sitting in front of you in this lifetime, and understanding how to navigate through it. So to take a negative and turn it into a positive. When we have negative situations, the key is not to be in a negative situation and then do something negative to yourself or others, whether it's your loved one, your wife, your children. That's not the answer. We're seeing a huge uptick of, and I've done several videos of kids killing their parents, spouses killing the other spouse. There was another video I did a while back, if you look back through my videos, of another Utah couple where the wife supposedly poisoned her husband and then wrote a children's book about what it was like to be a single mother, the loss of a husband and a father, and how their children were navigating through life without their father. She had a children's book, had been on many local and national news outlets. And then it comes to find out that she is being alleged and being charged with being the person that that committed the demise of her husband. Look at the hypocrisy and dichotomy there. Same here. Multi-million-dollar home, successful children from an outward appearance, and in the end, they were not as happy and as successful as that outward appearance seemed to be and what people thought. It's shocking to the community and, of course, to their family, and especially to the son that found his mother and father deceased at the hands of the father. That's not how we want our story to end. We have to understand conflict mediation, therapy, reaching out to family, friends, and professionals if you're in stressful situations. And also, remember, if you are having problems in a marriage or as a couple, you can always leave or get a divorce. What happens to that? There are too many stories in today's time where people are not going through either marriage counseling, trying to work through their issues. If they can't, get a divorce instead of destroying that person mentally, or even killing them. That is not the answer. Life is all about, and this is what my videos are about, it's about manifesting your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way. Tell me what you think about this story straight out of Utah of a murder-suicide of a husband and wife, mother, father, and the son finds his parents deceased, and they had both been shot at the hands of the father, allegedly. That son is going to need all the trauma therapy that he can get. You talk about PTSD at its finest, and his other 5 siblings are going to be just as heartbroken as he is, being the one that found his parents. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience.